download the revision guides which accompany these videos, head over to www.mrbruff.com.
Scene 4. The same hall in the palace. A banquet's prepared. Enter Macbeth, Lady Macbeth, Ross, Lennox, lords and attendants. Macbeth, you all know your own rank. Sit down accordingly, and from the highest to the lowest, I welcome all of you heartily. The lords reply, thank you, your majesty. Macbeth says, I will mingle with you all and be a good host. My wife will stay on the throne for now, but when I ask her to, she will also come and welcome you. Lady Macbeth says, welcome them all for me, sir, because my heart says they are welcome. And then the first murderer appears at the door. Macbeth says, and they respond to you with their hearts also. Both sides of the table are full now. I will sit in the middle. Enjoy yourselves. Shortly we will drink a toast around the table. He approaches the door to speak to the murderer, says, there's blood on your face. The murderer says, it's Banquo's blood. Macbeth says, it's better that it's on your face than running through him, keeping him alive. Is he dead? The first murderer says, my lord, his throat has been cut. I did it myself. Macbeth says, you are the best of the throat cutters, but whoever has done the same for Fleance is also a good throat cutter. If you did both, you're peerless. The first murderer says, most royal sir, Fleance has escaped. Macbeth says, then I'm worried again. If he were dead, it would be perfect. I would be perfect, as strong as marble, as steady as any foundation in a rock, as free and happy as the breeze, but now I'm caught up in all my anxieties again. But Banquo's definitely dead? The first murderer says, yes, my good lord, dead in a ditch he is, with 20 wounds to his head, the smallest of which would have been enough to kill him. Macbeth says, thanks for that. So the adult snake lies dead in a ditch, the baby snake has fled away. In time he will grow poisonous, but for now he does not have fangs. Go away from here, we'll talk again tomorrow. And the murderer leaves, and Lady Macbeth comes. My royal lord, you're not paying your guests enough attention. They're going to begin to feel like they're paying for their meal if you don't make them feel welcome. If you just want to eat food, it's better to do that in your own home, but when you eat with other people, it's important to make it an occasion, otherwise dinner parties won't be enjoyable. Macbeth says, thank you for reminding me. Now, good digestion requires a good appetite, and good health depends on both. Lennox, please, your highness, sit. And at this point, the ghost of Banquo enters and sits in Macbeth's chair. Macbeth says, we would have all the nobility of our country here under one roof if Banquo too were present. I hope it turns out he's late because he's being rude rather than anything has happened to him. Ross says, his absence, sir, means that he has broken his promise. Please sit with us, your highness, and grace us with your royal company. Macbeth says, the table's full. Lennox says, here's a place we've kept for you, sir. Macbeth asks, where? Lennox says, here, my good lord. What is it that upsets you, your highness? Macbeth says, which of you has done this? The lords say, what, my good lord? And Macbeth says to the ghost, you can't blame it on me. Don't shake your bloody head at me. Ross says, gentlemen, let's go. His highness is not well. And Lady Macbeth says, sit down, my good friends. My lord is often like this and has been since he was a child. Please stay where you are. What he is experiencing will pass quickly. After a moment he'll be himself again. If you pay too much attention to him, you'll only upset him even more. Eat and don't look at him. And then she says to Macbeth, are you a man? Macbeth says, yes, and a tough one too. You can look on the things that would frighten the devil. Lady Macbeth says, oh, will you stop this nonsense? This is just another hallucination you get when you're afraid, just like the dagger that you said that led you to Duncan. These episodes don't even look like you're really afraid. It's like you're pretending, just like a woman might do, who was telling scary stories by the fire to her grandmother. Shame on you. When this is over, you'll see that all you're looking at is a stool. Macbeth says, please, look over there. Look, see, there. What do you say now? Why, what do I care? If you can nod at me, then speak. If the dead can simply return from their graves, then there's nothing to stop the birds from pecking at them. So there's no point in burying them at all. And then the ghost vanishes. And Lady Macbeth asks, has this madness completely paralysed you? Macbeth says, as I'm standing here, I saw him. And Lady Macbeth says, stop this, it's embarrassing. Macbeth says, in the olden times, before there were laws to keep the land safe and peaceful, much blood was spilled, and since then, too, some awful murders have been committed. But before, the murdered man would die, and that would be the end of it. But now they rise again, and with 20 deadly wounds on their heads, they push us from our stalls and come back to haunt us. This is worse than the murder itself. Lady Macbeth says, my good lord, you're neglecting your guests. Macbeth says, you're right, I've forgotten about them. Do not pay any attention to me, my friends. I have a strange condition, which those who know me well have become used to. Come, a toast to love and health to everyone, and I'll sit with you. Give me some wine, fill up my glass. I drink to the happiness of everyone seated here at the table, and to our dear friend Banquo, who's not here, but we wish he were here. To all of you here, and to him we drink. And the lords cheer, hear, hear, but then the ghost comes back. Macbeth shouts, go, get out of here, get back into your grave. There's no life in your bones, your blood is cold, you can't see from your eyes with which you glare at me. Lady Macbeth then talks to the crowd, think of this, my good friends, as simply a bad habit. It's nothing, except it spoils our nice evening. Macbeth says, I'm as brave as any other man. Come at me like a rugged Russian bear, a thick-skinned rhinoceros, or the Iranian tiger. Come at me as anything but a ghost, and I would not be afraid. Or come back to life and challenge me to a sword fight in some remote place, and if I tremble, you can say I'm a little girl. Get out of here, horrible ghost. Get out, mocking hallucination. And the ghost vanishes. Why, now that it's gone, I am a man again. Please, friends, stay where you are. Lady Macbeth says, you have spoiled the evening's fun, wrecked the atmosphere with your little show. Macbeth says, can these things come upon me so suddenly without shocking any of the rest of you? You make me feel like I don't know myself when all of you can look upon such sights and not be upset in the slightest while I'm pale with fright. Ross asks, what sights, my lord? And Lady Macbeth says, please don't speak about it. He's getting worse. Questions anger him. Good night to all of you now. Don't leave according to your rank. Just leave at once. So everybody's shooed out of the room. Lanark says, good night, and I hope His Majesty feels better soon. Lady Macbeth says, a kind good night to all of you. Then everybody leaves apart from Macbeth and Lady Macbeth. Macbeth says, it is said that the dead will have their revenge, blood will cause more blood. Gravestones have been known to move and trees to speak to bring guilty men to justice. The best kept secrets of men have been exposed by magical signs made by crows and rooks. How late in the night is it? Lady Macbeth says it's nearly morning. It's difficult to tell if it's day or night. Macbeth says, what do you think of the fact that Macduff doesn't do as we ask him to? Lady Macbeth says, did you send for him, sir? And Macbeth says, I've heard about it from other people, but I will send for him. I keep a servant as a spy in all of the lords' houses. Tomorrow I will go to see the witches again and get them to tell me more, because I want to know the worst that will happen. My own safety is the only thing I care about at the moment. Everything else comes second. I've waded into this river of blood to the point where it's just as easy to keep going and killing than it is to go back to the way things were before. I have some ideas in my head, and because they are terrible, I need to just do them before I think too much about them. Lady Macbeth says, you haven't slept enough. Macbeth says, come, let's go to sleep. My strange moods and hallucinations are because we're only beginners in crime. It will get easier with practice. Please do give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Hey everybody, if you're finding these revision videos useful, please do pick up a copy of the ebook revision guide from which all of this information comes. Mr. Bruff's Guide to William Shakespeare's Macbeth contains the complete play, line-by-line translation into modern English, and scene-by-scene analysis. It's over 300 pages in length. Every scene is translated as you see here on the screen. You've got the modern translation in the blue, the original text in the green, and that's for the whole play. There's detailed analysis, as you can again see, analysing things like language, structure, form, context, all of it, for every single scene. And every then chapter of the book is accompanied by a video like the one you've just watched. And you can get it by going to mrbruff.com/Macbeth. It's just £2 a copy, and we keep it cheap so that everybody can afford it. But please do pick up a copy today and support our continued work here if you found this video useful.